Today, we stand at a pivotal moment in the course of human history, a time when the world is watching the unfolding of a monumental clash between two global giants, China and America. These two nations, both with immense power and influence, are not just fighting for supremacy in traditional terms. They are shaping the very fabric of our global politics, economy, culture, and technological advancements. This is not merely a geopolitical rivalry or a race for military dominance. This is a defining moment that will echo through the generations to come. For the better part of the last century, the United States has been the world's leading superpower, guiding much of the global order through its economic strength, political influence, and military might. With the end of the Cold War and the rise of globalization, America became the standard, bearer of democracy, free market capitalism, and the liberal international order. On the other side, we have China, a nation that, for much of the 20th century, was closed off from the world, isolated by its communist ideology and its complex relationship with the West. However, in recent decades, China has undergone a remarkable transformation. From the economic reforms initiated by Deng Xiaoping in the late 1970s to today, China has lifted hundreds of millions of people out of poverty, built world-class infrastructure, and established itself as a formidable force on the global stage. The question now is not whether China and America will clash, it's how they will clash and what it will mean for the future of the world. This confrontation is not confined to any one arena. It spans multiple dimensions. It's economic. Both nations are competing for market dominance, technological advancements, and the control of global supply chains. China, with its vast manufacturing power and growing technological sector, has become a major player in industries ranging from telecommunications to artificial intelligence. The United States, in turn, has responded by solidifying its position as the leader in innovation, especially in sectors like Silicon Valley, space exploration, and military technology. It's also a battle of ideologies. While America champions democracy, individual freedoms, and a liberal economic model, China stands as the leading representative of an alternative political system, one rooted in authoritarianism, state control, and collectivist ideals. This ideological divide shapes everything from foreign policy to cultural diplomacy, as each nation attempts to promote its own way of life as the model for global governance. Yet, perhaps the most pressing aspect of this rivalry is its impact on the rest of the world. What happens in this dangle of global powers will not be limited to the borders of China or America. The consequences of their competition will affect every country, whether directly or indirectly. Global supply chains are intricately tied to these two economies, and disruptions in their trade policies, tariffs, or economic strategies ripple across the planet. Countries that depend on China for manufacturing or America for technology are left to navigate the complexities of this new order. Moreover, this competition is about more than economics. It is about shaping the future of humanity itself. Both China and America are pushing the boundaries of what is possible in technology, space exploration, artificial intelligence, and even biotechnology. This race to innovate is likely to produce groundbreaking discoveries and advancements that will affect every aspect of human life, from how we communicate to how we live and work. However, it's important to recognize that this battle isn't just a zero-sum game. While there may be moments of tension, trade wars, and confrontations, the outcome doesn't necessarily have to be a direct winner or loser. The world has the potential to benefit from the advancements and innovations that arise from this competition. Ultimately, The challenge will be whether the world can balance this rivalry with cooperation, and whether China and America can find a way to engage in constructive competition that serves the greater good of humanity. The truth is, this isn't just about China and America anymore. This is about all of us. The choices made in this defining moment will have a profound impact on how the next generation lives, how economies evolve, and how nations interact. It is up to us, leaders, thinkers, and citizens around the world, to ensure that the legacy of this great struggle between two superpowers is one that fosters peace, progress, and unity for the entire planet. Competition, at its core, is not a negative force, but a driving catalyst for innovation, progress, and growth. In every field of human endeavor, be it in sports, business, science, or technology, competition compels individuals and organizations to rise above mediocrity, to strive for excellence, and to push beyond their current limit. This is especially true in the realm of international relations, where the competition between nations can lead to remarkable advancements that shape the future of humanity. And when we talk about the competition between two global superpowers like China and America, we are talking about a rivalry of an entirely different magnitude, one that will influence every aspect of our global landscape for years to come. Take a moment to consider the analogy of a dangal, an ancient Indian form of wrestling, a contest that's far more than just physical exertion. In a dangal, athletes are not only competing for victory, they are demonstrating determination, discipline, and courage. They must face obstacles head on, overcome pain and fatigue, and constantly adapt their strategies in response to their opponent's move. Similarly, nations like China and America are locked in a geopolitical dangle, each striving for global influence, economic prosperity, and technological supremacy. Like the athletes in the ring, both nations must summon their inner strength, resilience, and strategic intelligence to emerge victorious. However, unlike in sports, where only one individual or team can walk away with the title, in the global arena, the results of this competition will not necessarily be about one nation winning and the other losing. The outcomes of this competition could have far-reaching consequences that impact all of humanity. It is this fierce competition between China and America that has already begun to drive both countries toward groundbreaking innovations. Whether it's in the field of artificial intelligence, green technology, or space exploration, these nations are investing heavily in research and development in a race to dominate the future. For example, China's rapid advancements in 5G technology, spearheaded by companies like Huawei, have forced America to accelerate its own technological initiatives to maintain its edge in the global tech landscape. Meanwhile, the United States' investment in space exploration through private companies like SpaceX has spurred China's ambitious plans for its own lunar missions and the development of space stations. This race, rather than escalating into destructive conflict, has pushed both nations to create new technologies and approaches that could have far-reaching benefits for humanity. Collaboration and competition in equal measure can lead to innovations that transform our lives in ways we never imagined. But competition also extends beyond technology and economics. It drives nations to rethink their political strategies, their educational systems, and their social policy. Just as athletes push themselves to the brink of physical exhaustion to reach their peak performance, nations too must invest in human capital, educate their people, and build infrastructures that will support long-term growth. Education, leadership, and resilience become essential tools in the arsenal of any nation seeking to outpace its competitors. This requires a commitment to not only hard power, like military strength and economic clout, but also to soft power, such as cultural diplomacy, global partnerships, and fostering shared values. Yet, the true power of competition lies in its ability to inspire global collaboration. While China and America battle for dominance, their competition encourages other nations to innovate and adapt as well. Smaller countries and emerging economies are now increasingly investing in their own tech industries, pushing their boundaries in areas like renewable energy, biotechnology, and advanced manufacturing. The world, as a whole, benefits from the innovative energy sparked by the rivalry of these two nations. In the end, it is not just about who wins or loses in the competition between China and America. It is about how the world collectively rises to the challenge, breakthroughs that come out of this rivalry, whether it's a cure for disease, a new form of sustainable energy, or a new understanding of our universe, have the potential to benefit not just these two nations, but the entire globe. As both nations push themselves to the absolute limits, they will inevitably create solutions and technologies that will uplift humanity, advance civilization, and solve some of our most pressing problems. Thus, this global dangle is not just a battle between two giants. It's a contest that, if embraced as an opportunity rather than a zero sum game, can foster growth, innovation, and ultimately a better future for all of us. Leadership is not about dominance. It's about responsibility. This fundamental truth lies at the heart of what defines true leadership, both on the world stage and in everyday life. In a world that is increasingly interconnected and interdependent, leadership cannot simply be about asserting power or conquering others. It is about recognizing the profound responsibility one holds, not only towards one's own people, but also towards the entire global community. In this context, both China and America, as two of the most powerful nations in the world, are confronted with a profound question. How will they use their incredible resources? Will they wield their power for self-interest alone, or will they rise to the occasion and lead with compassion, wisdom, and justice? At present, both China and America possess enormous resources. China, with its vast population, thriving industrial sector, and expanding technological capacity, is poised to play a crucial role in the future of the global economy. America, with its cutting-edge innovations, economic might, and deep-rooted political influence, remains one of the most influential players in shaping the global order. Yet, the sheer size and strength of these nations are not the only factors that will determine their place in history. What truly matters is how both countries exercise their power in the face of the most pressing challenges of our time. One of the greatest challenges the world faces today is climate change. The scientific consensus is clear. The planet is warming at an unprecedented rate, and the consequences, ranging from rising sea levels to extreme weather events, are becoming more evident every day. Both China and America are among the world's largest carbon emitters, and their actions in the coming years will be pivotal in determining whether the world can successfully transition to a sustainable future. Leadership here is not about who can dominate the conversation. It is about who can demonstrate visionary action that leads to real change. America's commitment to rejoining the Paris Agreement and China's pledges to peak carbon emissions by 2030 are important steps, but the true test will be their ability to turn these commitments into tangible policies that inspire the rest of the world to act as well. Another key challenge where leadership will be defined is poverty. Despite the progress made in lifting millions out of extreme poverty, the global inequality gap remains vast. Both China and America, as the world's economic giants, have a critical role to play in eradicating poverty, not just within their borders, but on a global scale. China's Belt and Road Initiative, for example, is an ambitious plan that has the potential to bring much needed infrastructure and economic development to many developing countries. America, with its immense resources and technological innovations, has the ability to foster new solutions for education, healthcare, and economic empowerment that can significantly reduce global poverty. However, both nations must approach these challenges with an understanding that leadership means ensuring the upliftment of the most vulnerable, not just maximizing their own gain. Finally, technological advancement is another arena where leadership will determine the future. We are in the midst of a technological revolution with advances in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and space exploration promising to redefine the way we live, work, and interact. The race between China and America to dominate in these fields will have far-reaching consequences. But leadership in this realm requires more than just the race to be first. It requires ethical considerations, global collaboration, and a commitment to using technology in ways that benefit all of humanity. Issues such as AI ethics, data privacy, and access to technology must be addressed with compassion, fairness, and foresight. Leadership in this space is about ensuring that new technologies do not deepen divides, but rather work to bridge them, providing opportunities for prosperity, safety, and dignity to all people, not just the privileged few. The legacy of China and America will not be defined by who comes out on top in this global competition, but by who leads with compassion, wisdom, and justice. It is not just about power, it's about responsibility. True leadership is about having the foresight to tackle global challenges head on, not just for the benefit of one's own nation, but for the well-being of humanity as a whole. The choices both countries make in the coming decades will shape the world for generations. Will they take the responsibility of their power seriously and lead with integrity, or will they use their resources to perpetuate inequality, exploitation, and conflict? The world is watching, and the true measure of leadership will be found in their actions, not their words. In today's world, interconnectedness is no longer just a theoretical concept. It is a tangible reality. We live in a time where trade, culture, and technology link every nation, every community, and every individual in a vast, intricate web. The goods we consume, the ideas we share, and the innovations that define our future are all products of this complex global network. From the clothes we wear to the smartphones we use, the very fabric of our lives is interwoven with the efforts and actions of people from different corners of the earth. And yet, in the face of this interconnected world, the question arises, how will we handle our differences? Conflict, whether economic, political, or military, has historically been a force that only breeds destruction. When nations collide, the results are often devastating. Wars not only claim lives, but they tear apart societies, cripple economies, and leave lasting scars on future generations. In our modern world, these conflicts also have a ripple effect. What begins as a dispute between two nations can quickly escalate, drawing in others and destabilizing entire regions. The consequences are not confined to the immediate area of conflict, but have global repercussions, be it through economic downturns, disrupted trade, or humanitarian crises. As the world becomes more interconnected, the cost of conflict only grows higher and the likelihood of widespread harm increases. In contrast, collaboration offers an entirely different outcome. The true victory in the world today lies not in defeating one's opponent, but in working together to create solutions that benefit everyone. Collaboration is the engine of progress. It is through collaboration that we have seen some of humanity's greatest achievements, the creation of the internet, the development of life, saving vaccines, the global response to climate change, and the exploration of space. These are not the products of rivalry or isolationism, but of cooperation between countries, industries, and people with a common vision for a better future. In the context of the competition between China and America, this is where the true opportunity lies. Both nations have tremendous power, resources, and influence, but that power is amplified when they choose to collaborate. The rivalry between them should not be seen as a zero-sum game where one must win and the other must lose. Instead, it should be viewed as an opportunity to push each other to new heights, while also recognizing that shared challenges require shared solutions. Take the issue of climate change, for example. It is arguably the single most pressing challenge of our time, and it cannot be solved by any one country acting alone. Both China and America, as the world's two largest economies and largest carbon emitters, have a profound responsibility to lead global efforts in combating climate change. Their competition in renewable energy technology, electric vehicles, and green infrastructure has already sparked innovations that could help millions of people and set the global stage for a more sustainable future. But the real opportunity lies in their collaboration, in working together to set ambitious global targets, to share knowledge and technology, and to encourage other nations to take bold actions. Similarly, in the realm of global health, the COVID-19 pandemic was a stark reminder of how interconnected we are. No country, no matter how powerful, can address a global health crisis alone. The rapid development of vaccines was made possible through international collaboration, with scientists, governments, and private industries across the world working together to fight the pandemic. The U.S., China, and many other nations have been key contributors to this global effort. Rather than allowing differences to deepen divisions, the crisis highlighted